All right, well, hello and welcome everybody to PPR Esports F1 Xbox Tier 2. We are here in Japan at Suzuka for this beautiful second tier race in the Xbox circuit. We're on board with the most recent winner of this tier, T-Burk. As he's coming around, he should be the first driver to complete a hot lap around this circuit, as he goes through the hairpin there and towards the spoon curve, one of the more challenging sections. If you touch those curves coming up the inside, you might have a bit of difficulty there. From what I'm hearing from the drivers specifically on F1 2021 is that when you hit those curves, specifically in Suzuka, you might have some issues there. So here he goes through Sector 3 here, obviously a purple Sector 2 because he's the only driver to have a valid Sector 2 there, and coming through the Casio Triangle and down the last corner of this 18-turn circuit across the line. It's a 130.3. And let's see who else is out right now. Ollie's appears to be out on a hot lap, but let's see if Quick Tongue goes with a 130.6, so T-Burk's still in that provisional pole position. The teammate of Quick Tongue is the next across the line here. He's going to be in the 130s as well. It's a 130.877, but he's on the medium tires there, and that's a pretty decent lap as it looks like Sprightly's still on an out lap there. So let's go back on board with Ollie's as he heads down towards the final chicane here. There's also battling going on here in the ACC realm as Ollie's completely abandons his lap there, and we'll go on board with Father Corn for a moment as he's getting through some yellow flags here and taking the bit of a scenic route through the S curves of Sector 1 here, and definitely a scenic route as he decides to do a bit of a pirouette but can't even finish that. Ken Corny. And as you say it, Platinum, an easy victory for Colonel Cornelius Cornwall. Well, not quite. Let's go on board with Skits as he's looking to set his provisional time here in qualifying. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2. And coming through now, Skits will be in the 136s. It's a 136.849, so we still see T-Burk in that provisional pole position, but many fast runners are not out just yet. Let's go on board with the medium runner, Sprightly here, going on an alternate strategy from his teammate, WWLL, of course. Don't know what that means. And through 130R, that's another line where I feel like there's just a bit more speed there in these Formula One cars that the drivers aren't experimenting with enough. But here goes Sprightly across the line. It's a 132.241. I'm actually quite concerned right now. I saw we had what I thought was at least 15 participants in the Tier 2 race, and we have 11 right now. So that is a bit concerning. Father Corn with a 151.7. Not a brilliant lap time from Corny there as he takes another venture through Sector 1 here. So we go on the outboard through the S curves here. Decides to find the racing line and getting a bit wide there. Let's see how he hugs it back in. And through the left-handers here, let's see how Corny manages this. No, Tier 1 of Xbox comes on just after this. Is through the Degner curves. Degner's 1 and 2 there. Corny gets a bit wild in the McLaren. Tier 1 is at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so an hour and 21 minutes from right now. These are the guys hoping to race there. If not this season, then next season. So here comes Corn through the spoon curve. Managed nicely there from Corn. Still definitely a bit adventurous with that steering wheel. Let's see how he does through 130R here. Needs to really commit there and could carry a bit more speed as well through that left-hander. Nicely done into the chicane here, and coming through the pit entry, decides to bail on the lap and head on in. How's Redeemer doing right now? A new addition to the Alpine team, I was told. through the Casio triangle comes Redeemer, and let's see if he's going to post this as a hot lap here as he hunts towards the line. He's going to challenge for pole. It's not good enough just yet. It's a 1:31.078, so he's right there in the second row. Lines up behind Basehead as it currently stands, but Basehead's still out on these medium tires. Has gotten up there into P2. T-Berg looking to unseat his best lap time that was set on the softs with these medium tires. And maybe that is the better strategy around here. I haven't watched many races here myself in the F1 2021 game. And when I say many races, I mean absolutely 0 races. So this will be the first around the circuit that I witness. I'm showing a purple sector 1 for Ollie's here. So coming through the hairpin. And just a bit different from what I'm used to in watching the GT3 cars go around here. It's a much wider line through that hairpin. See what Ollie's does into Spoon. Another bit different line, a bit more, I guess, conservative. And here comes Ollie's down the back straight into 130R here. Let's see what he manages to do. And nicely done. Takes a bit of both curbs. Exactly what you want to do. This could be a decent lap as we have a yellow flag ahead. It's not going to count just yet. It's his teammate. That's going to be LDR Redeemer causing that yellow flag. But here comes Ollie's towards the line. This is a competitive time. It's a 1:30.1, and that is 0.2 quicker than T-Berg there. T-Berg better think twice about these medium tires because Ollie's has him beat on the softs there by about 0.2 of a second. Well, let's see what T-Berg can do through Degner's 1 and 2 here. Just holding on to the track there. As you can see, he was just inside the white line there. And well managed so far from T-Berg. He was about 1/10 up through Sector 1. If he can manage another low 130 on the mediums, that would be a very nice lap time here. Let's see what he does through Spoon here. Loses a bit of time there, doesn't T-Berg, but here he goes in the Ferrari. Really needs the acceleration here of these mediums and hunts towards the 130R corner. Really needs to hunker down in this Ferrari and get as much pace as possible here. He's about 1/10.5 up on his time right now. This is a great lap on the medium tires. Really needs to stick it together and be careful coming through the triangle. Definitely cuts the curbs to the most extent possible there. And here comes T-Berg across the line. Can he grab pole? He cannot, but he does improve to a 1:30.187 on the mediums. That will stay competitive throughout qualifying here, I would imagine. Mike Yunt seems to be on a hot lap right now. This is a driver to keep an eye on for the championship. He's always been right there in all these races, and that's why he stands atop the rest of the drivers so far in the season with 52 points. He leads Ollie's by 12 points in the Drivers' Championship. Basehead 15 points down there in the AlphaTauri with T-Berg there, 19 points off the leader. So one race could really change up the landscape. As I'm showing a purple sector 1 there from Mike Yunt. T-Berg happy with his time of a 1:30.1. Doesn't want to cover it with the softs. Might need to be a bit careful there because if a lot of these drivers get up and going here, if he qualifies somewhere around P9 or so on those mediums, it's not going to be really worth it. Here comes Mike Yunt hunting down the back straight here. He's got a Mercedes of Cold Carnival who's well in tow there. Another driver to keep an eye on here. So there is Mike Yunt, 4/10 up on his time right now. Let's see where Cold Carnival's at. It's a 1:13.3 through Sector 2 there. Looks like it might be a bit of a quicker lap time here from the Mercedes. We'll see what Mike Yunt's able to do. He's just ahead there of the Mercedes. Across the line, goes into P3. Here comes Cold Carnival across the line. He then takes P3 by 1/10 of a second. So a good lap there from both contenders in this race. Sprightly up by 1.5 seconds on his time. He should get into P6 or so. P5, how about that one? A 1:30.5 on the soft tires. Dodger has joined. Hulk Smash looking to join the timing towers. Has not set a valid lap time yet. And again, it is Kurbssy tonight. Me, myself, and I. That's me. Popped up on the screen for a moment. I'm here in the booth. If anybody out there in the Xbox realm would like to give it a shot at commentary, go ahead and join the Discord. Discord.gg/PPResports. Hop on in and get chatting with us. See if you have what it takes. Doesn't take too much because I do it. Father Corn looking to set a competitive time here. He's in the 150s, about 20 seconds off where he needs to be after his pirouette through Sector 1 on his first attempt. Here comes the McLaren driver through Spoon. And what better than being at Suzuka and hopefully having a McLaren battle here? And that would be exciting, reminiscent of the 80s and 90s. Casio triangles. Father Corn here definitely cuts the corner there. Invalidates the lap time. Ducks immediately into the pits. Needs to be careful. He might qualify outside the top 10 here. Dodger, a driver to keep an eye on as well. He has been quick all season long in the Alfa Romeo. The most beautiful car on the grid. Yeah, way to go, Platinum. That is on you 100%. He was really on for a great lap, and then you had to go and say it. And it's happened. Radicus. Welcome. As here comes Dodger across the line. It's a 215. That wouldn't even be competitive in the GT3 realm. Up in the top 6, we just have Basehead on an out lap. It looks like Quick Tongue on a hot lap. As way wide there is Dodger. Definitely a tricky circuit here. I'm trying to switch through, and the game will not let me. Apologies for that. Not sure what's going on there. What is going on? We have some technical difficulties with the F1 21 game. Here is Quick Tongue. He's on a hot lap as well. He's just ahead of Dodger, so we switch back and forth between these two drivers. We'll see what Quick Tongue's able to do through Sector 2 here as he hunts down towards Spoon. Welcome, Kimmler. I believe we still have one or two more drivers who should join for the race here in Tier 2. And please let me know if the volume and all of that good stuff is up to par as it should be here. No ERS left for Quick Tongue here as he hops across the final curb needed. Not going to matter. Ducks off into the pits. And here goes Dodger. He's going to cross the line right here. It seems to be a competitive time. It's in the 131s. It's a 131.2. Not competitive enough. He is in P9 right now as Hulk Smash is now on a hot lap. Appears to be the only one doing so right now. I suppose Basehead is as well, as he's coming through Sector 2. We can see on the mini-map there through Sector 2, he's just behind Cold Carnival, who was on an outlap here. Cold Carnival, one to keep an eye on for a possible pole position here, but Ollie's is there to cover it. T-Burke, however, is not, and this is where he needs to be careful. As I'm seeing these drivers get a bit closer. It looks like Cold Carnival is quick even on his outlap here. Let's take a look now at Basehead as he hunts towards the line here. What is this time going to be? As he crosses the line, it's in the 29s. It's a 29.8. It's provisional pole position for Basehead in the AlphaTauri. And this is where T-Burke's going to start sweating a little bit. He's not in the session currently to cover off his time on the soft tires, as the track I know is in optimal conditions during this entire qualifying, but something I'm sure he would like is a bit more experience out there. Groggers, we don't really watch viewers here. I don't know how many viewers there are. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. It's not very relevant as Cold Carnival goes through Degner's 1 and 2 here. Sets a purple sector there, but he's completely out of the session, and one of the drivers who you needed to keep an eye on to contest for a pole position is out of qualifying. He's going to line up at best on the second row. Dodger slow right now on an in-lap. Hulk Smash slow right now as well. Let's watch Ollie's as he sneaks past Basehead there. The driver he's trying to sneak past on the timing tower right now. He needs 3/10. He absolutely binged it into the wall, didn't he, Cold Carnival? That was a massive hit. As Hulk Smash retires from the session, will qualify no higher than 11th. Fathercorn did manage to sneak out P7 for 130.6. So here goes Ollie's through 130R and down towards the Casio Triangle. Let's see what the Alpine driver can do here. Can he contest for pole position? Here comes Ollie's across the line now. It's a 29.599, and he does grab pole position by about 0.3 of a second. What a great lap there from Ollie's. And Basehead is not on a hot lap right now. This appears to be it for qualifying. What a great lap from Ollie's there to get across the line, grab that pole position in the Alpine, rip it away from Basehead, and now T-Burke even lines up on the second row on those mediums. Still a great time, though. A 130.1 on those medium tires. A great time. So as qualifying comes to an end here, a pretty interesting qualifying as there was quite a few jumps there through the leaderboards. We saw Fathercorn have a nice little spinner here through Sector 1 on his first attempt. That didn't work out well for him. Got back out here and kept his head down and was able to post a mid-130. Good enough for midfield right now, and maybe he'll pick up a couple positions at the start. Ion, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Platinum, no, unfortunately, Korn did not get pole. Well, depending who you're a fan of. If you're a fan of Ollie's, you'd be happy to know that he is on pole position with a 129.599. He leads Basehead by 2.5 tenths. T-Burke lines up on the second row. He is the only driver to opt for the medium tires in qualifying. Cold Carnival is going to line up next to him on the softs. Now Mike Yunt and Sprightly will round out the next row there with Fathercorn, Dodger, Quick Tongue, and Redeemer rounding out the top 10. Outside that top 10, there's going to be Hulk Smash and Skits. Now those drivers looking to make up some positions there will have that free choice of tire compound, so maybe won't make them up right away, but through the pit stops, he might be able to. Yeah, we had a few more drivers signed up here. Not sure why there was a no-show. As I received a ping. I'm not sure what that was for, but all right, as we get into the race here at Suzuka, we still have Mike Yunt leading the way in the Tier 2 championship. He has 52 points on the season, 12 points clear of Ollie's there for P2. Now, Basehead there in P3 is 15 points off of Mike there. And T-Burke, 19 points off. Quick Tongue, also right there. He's 24 points off the leader. One race, and he could find himself ahead of the man who sits on top of the driver standings. PPR Mike Yunt is the driver to watch for tonight with Ollie's there on pole position, though, and Basehead right there as well. This should be an exciting race here, even with 12 drivers. And a nice little preview for what is to come for the Tier 1 race as well, in about an hour and 5 minutes. So I am solo tonight, unfortunately, but as we... Sorry, got a bit confused there. As we get going here in 10 seconds or so, we'll take a look at the final starting positions and their cars out on track. And there they are. And Alpine lines up on pole position there. That is our main man, Ollie's there, leading the way here in a beautifully liveried car. Basehead here lines up P2, one of the two number 69 Alpha Tauris on the grid. T-Burke there lines up on the medium tires in P3. He will have the outside line, though, going into turn number 1, so look for Cold Carnival to attack that early on. Mike Yunt there in P5 will try and head off the teammate of T-Burke there, Sprightly, who's in P6 right now, as Father Korn down here in P7. Driver to watch during the race. Maybe can pick up a couple of places here. Dodger down here in P8 at the start of the race. Let's see what he manages to do throughout, as Quick Tongue, a driver who we know is a bit quicker, if you will, than where he lines up on the grid. Look for an early attack from the number 69 Alpha Tauri car. Redeemer lines up P10, teammate to Ollie's there. Starts off in the points, hopefully ends in the points here if you're an Alpine or Redeemer fan. Hulk Smash down here in P11. I believe streaming as well if you want to check out his Twitch channel. And Skits brings up the back of the grid here, looking to make it points in 2 races in a row, I believe. He scored points in Baku last week. And taking a look at the tires, Skits does opt for the mediums here. He's going to go medium hards, we presume, with the soft runners possibly going soft to hards around this circuit. So back up at the front, we have Basehead in P2 right now, towing along T-Burke here in P3. Now, the Ferrari driver who won last week was ecstatic, and unfortunately wasn't able to give him an interview, but he continuously was sending me messages afterwards saying how happy he was to win a race here at PPR. So congratulations to him once again, as there we have the face cam of T-Burke himself. And as Skits gets lined up here, jump back up towards the front for the start of this race. And there we have it, 5 red lights on, and that means 5 red lights going out right about now. And underway they are. Looked like a great launch from the Alfa Romeo back there of Dodger. And how about the McLaren of Corny there? Sneaking up the grid up into P4 already. And there goes Basehead through Ollie's as well. And Ollie's is off early on. Through the race, Ollie's is back off into the gravel. There's more contact there with Cold Carnival as well. Father Korn all the way up into P2 at the start of this race. Absolute carnage here. I think I was a bit late on the save replay button a little bit there, but at the start of the race, we have Basehead leading the way from Father Korn and T-Burke here. Mike Yunt up into P4 with Sprightly in P5. Quick Tongue has worked his way up as well, and back down towards the bottom, it's Cold Carnival and Ollie's there, who are both struggling with a bit of damage, we presume, as Cold Carnival spins. Redeemer appears to be off. Ollie's sneaking through now. There's Skits just ahead. Dodger, who had a great launch, all of a sudden back down in P8. Not sure what exactly happened there. Let's jump over to the position changes and see the biggest improvement so far. Father Korn going down the order right now, and he's actually turned into a lawnmower, possibly a Kubota, given the orange graphics on his McLaren there. And here comes Quick Tongue on the attack through 130R here. He's not going to be close enough just yet. But Father Korn, after a great start to the race, is now struggling. And still struggling is Father Korn. He's definitely flicked on the blades here, hasn't he? in this McLaren. He's not able to keep it on the track as there goes Hulk Smash through up into P5 in this race so far. T-Burk is up into P2 with Basehead in P1 right now. Basehead with a comfortable lead so far. Almost 3 seconds he's opened up to T-Burk there. T-Burk on the harder tires as well. But how about the start to this race? Absolute mayhem all over as we have Dodger, Quick Tongue, Ollie's all in the pits right now. Cold Carnival appears to have stayed out. I thought he had a bit of damage there. It appears not, though, as Skit's up into P7 so far. Great start to the race from him. Let's stay on board with Corny because it seems like he's got all the action going on around him as he comes through Degner's number 1 and 2 here. And the Red Bull of Hulk Smash takes a bit of an extra journey through the gravel trap there and loses out to Father Corn into the hairpin section now. And Father Corn with a comfortable gap on Hulk Smash won't look for an attack back there. Mike Yunt closing the gap to T-Burk ahead for P2 in this race. And T-Burk through Spoon appears to be turning into an AI in the middle there as we saw a little bit of a flicker there on his tag. I'm wondering if there might be an issue in the cockpit of the Ferrari. Can we see an attack into 130R? No, Mike Yunt thinks the better of it. I think that's the mature maneuver. This is only lap number 2. They're on different tire strategies, so the race isn't going to be won right now, but it can be lost. This has been an absolutely ridiculous start to this race as Basehead sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:33.8 or so. He did move up 1 position from Ollie's, who finds himself down 10 positions. P11 there appeared to just go off on his own volition there through turn number 1. Wasn't able to maintain the pace with the drivers ahead and just lost the rear possibly. Sprightly now appears to be closing in on Mike Yunt, maybe doing a favor for his teammate T-Burk ahead. If he attacks Mike Yunt here, that might help out the Ferrari crew through Degner 1. This is a great angle to watch a 3-way battle now for some podium positions at play as well. And yes, Platinum, you keep it up, you're going to catch a timeout. You continuously jinx my man Corny here, who's just trying to get on with a good race, up 2 positions so far. Every time you bring up his name, there appears to be something going on with that McLaren. As Mike Yunt about 9/10 off the rear wing of T-Burk. T-Burk closing back in on Basehead. What is the issue with Basehead right now? Basehead just lost 2 seconds. What is going on in the AlphaTauri? He's got no wing. Basehead has no wing. He's into the garage. And there goes T-Burk into P1 right now. Mike Yunt's going to grab P2 and Sprightly into P3. The start of this race has been absolute pandemonium right now. We have 2 Ferraris and a Red Bull on the podium. We haven't seen this for a couple years, have we? As T-Burk in P1 with Mike Yunt in P2, Sprightly in P3, and Sprightly looking mighty racy against the current driver championship leader right now, Mike Yunt there in the Red Bull. He's managed to grab a few podiums on the season. We see Skits getting through P6 as well. Ooh, and gets a bit wide there, does Sprightly, but collects it well. He's going to lose a couple of tenths there. Needs to just get his head down and get back racing here. It's really the key, is to not lose it just because you go off track once, or even if you're in Basehead's realm where you had a bit of damage picked up there and had to replace your wing. You need to know that this race is far from over, and with only 12 runners in this race, a great points haul opportunity here. So we have a yellow flag through Sector 1. It's an AlphaTauri. Who is it? It's going to be Quick Tongue, who's reversed into the wall after losing his wing as well. So the AlphaTauri not going with a proper setup tonight, it appears. T-Burk leading the way as he did. Yeah, that battle didn't last long there for PA, did it? As T-Burk was leading many laps there in Baku, ended up winning Baku. Mike Yunt, I believe he DNF'd last week. Yeah. Wait, let's see here. No, he did not. He finished P4 last week out of only 7 drivers to finish the race. in what was another exciting race, let's say. I'm not sure what it's recording means. This is a live stream. I'm also recording it, though. If you'd like to watch it later on, you can. The race from last week is still preserved on my hard drive. I'll hold on to that one, send it to anybody who wants it. It was a great race there in Baku. Some interesting strategies as well. But now from the rear wing of T-Burke here, we see Mike Yunt nearly 2 seconds back and about the same gap to Sprightly as well. Then a bit further back to Corny, but Corny here has gained about 2 seconds or so through the last couple of laps, so seems to be one of the faster drivers out on the circuit right now. However, keep an eye on a few drivers here at the back as Quick Tongue into the pit there to correct his front wing issue. Cold Carnival closing in on Skits. Let's see what kind of attack we see here from the Mercedes. There goes Skits allowing Cold Carnival through. And Basehead picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. Only 5 laps into the race, he's already picked up that time penalty. That's not going to help him out. Yeah, you're right. Fathercorn is on the prowl right now. He's 2.8 seconds off. Sprightly there ahead. If he gets within that DRS range after cutting off a couple more seconds, Sprightly's really going to need to watch out for an attack there. Mike Yunt is losing out right now to T-Burke as these mediums should settle in a bit, and T-Burke must be very happy about his current condition of his race because he started on these mediums, the only driver to do so in the top 10, and he right now is sitting P1, 2 seconds clear of Mike Yunt there, who started on those softs, just behind T-Burke. Hulk Smash with the most movement so far. He's up 6 positions from P11 to P5 in this race. A lot of that had to do with drivers like Cold Carnival, Ollie's, and Quick Tongue all having a few issues early on here. And Ollie's here. He's going to be about a half second off of Dodger. Going through the S-curves here. He needs to be careful here. Wing to attack into Degner 1 is not really your best opportunity, but Dodger looks a bit frantic there in that Alfa Romeo, doesn't he? Cuts across nicely through curb 1 and 2 there and down towards the hairpin. It's not going to be close enough for an attack just yet, but keep an eye on this battle as it should get closer and closer. Yeah, Platt, keep it that way. We won't mention it. As Charizard appears in chat there, we have Ollie's attempting to close in on Dodger right now. About 9/10 off the rear wing of Dodger. And let's see what he's able to do here. I really wish F1 was racing in Suzuka this year. Such a shame we don't get to see this brilliant circuit. I know it doesn't exactly bring the best racing with the current car situation, but what a beautiful circuit it is. Yep, that is Minecraft, Steve. And let's see where Korn is right now. He's actually just holding steady, about 3 seconds behind Sprightly there. Mike Yunt has now closed the gap to T-Burke by about 6/10, 7/10 of a second, and closing if there's any issue right now for the Ferrari as we get one of the worst camera angles humanly possible. Thank you for that, Cody's. We appreciate it. But through Sector 2 here and nearly into Sector 3, you can get a good look at how the lap times are going. 1:16.2. Wasn't able to quite grab Mike Yunt's time there, but 1:16.2 is going to be a few seconds off quali pace there, which is about expected right now. But Mike Yunt's tires are going to start fading off in the next 2 or 3 laps or so, so that's where T-Burke needs to just watch and needs to know not to defend too hard here. They're on 2 different strategies right now. There's only so much to cover, and you don't want to lose out your race covering off from a different strategy. As I'm wondering now, there seems to be an overtake. It's because Sprightly's into the pits here. He's on the hard tires now, so it makes his mandatory pit stop. First of the runners to do so that was not forced into a pit stop by damage. Comes out P6 right now, ahead of Cold Carnival. who had an early spin there. I believe he has pitted as well. Possibly not. He has not pitted, so just heating up those soft tires a bit. Dodger has pitted once and is just behind Cold Carnival now. We see Basehead as well has made a mandatory stop, though he's going to have to stop again. He's on those soft tires right now. There's no way he's going to make it another 19 laps on these soft tires. And coming down towards the hairpin right now, a driver who's been very quick and was in P1 for a few laps of this race until an issue that we unfortunately did not catch, as there goes Cold Carnival on Ollie's here. Hold on, keep an eye on this battle right now, as there goes Ollie's now through on Cold Carnival for that P8 position there, and a nice overtake through Degner too. Sees Ollie's into that P8 position, and he is moving up the order a bit as well. A driver who's made a mandatory pit stop here, but will most likely have to make it a 2-stop here. I see T-Burke, as well as the other couple of runners up here, will be able to make it a 1-stop if they continue on at their current rate. Look for the soft runners to maybe pit over the next couple of laps or so. We know T-Burke doing well so far up here on these mediums, but Mike Yunt is doing well to maintain that gap as well on the tires that are now starting to degrade just a bit more. Still have a bit of life in them. And hunting down towards the hairpin now, as Father Korn is up into a podium place in this race. That's due to Sprightly making his mandatory pit stop there, dropping down to P6. It also promoted Hulk Smash and Basehead up a position there. See Ollie's now closing in on Dodger here. Let's see what happens through the S-curves. Are we going to see an overtake through here? Not exactly a common place for an overtake. Quite dangerous as well. You don't want to throw away your race here by making a risky maneuver. Into Degner 1. Ollie's not going to be close enough, and through number 2 here, he is much closer. We might see an attack into the hairpin here. Let's see which line is taken by the Alfa Romeo driver, outside to inside line. So Ollie's is going to switch it up just a little bit there. Doesn't get a great run. Dodger with what I would consider a better run there. Through the long right-hander here is maintaining the gap well, as Basehead did get through on Hulk Smash. And into Spoon. Well maintained by Ollie so far. This is going to be a great run out of Spoon here, and this should be an attempt at an overtake with the acceleration of that Alfa Romeo, doing a good job to hold off the Alpine so far. But here they go side by side into 130R. We're going to see him go side by side into 130R right now. It's going to be Ollie's out wide there. He does get through on the Alfa Romeo of Dodger, and Ollie's down into the Casio Triangle, will be up into P7. Pizza equals Illuminati, apparently. Oh, that's a Doritos chip. Didn't even know that. Looks like pizza. But now I'm hungry. Oh, and they swap back. Hold on a moment. Ollie's went wide into turn number 1. I did not expect an overtake back there. Ollie's went wide into turn number 1. Dodger got through back up into P7 there. Cold Carnival made his mandatory pit stop, so he's not there to attack on the extra bits left out on track. And Ollie's has to do it all over again here, doesn't he? We'll stay on board for this battle, as it is not over just yet, at least according to Dodger there. Ollie's a driver who found himself with a great pole position here. A bit slower than Basehead off the line, and unfortunately just ran too wide into turn number 1, just like he did on this lap actually, and lost out a position. Well, he lost out many more on lap number 1, all the way to the back of the grid there. It looked like he collected the car well. Father Korn and Basehead swap positions there because Father Korn's in the pits. Basehead back up into the podium places as he had that wing damage that he fixed. Thankfully, he picked up the wing damage in Sector 3, so he was able to get in the pits early on, or right away, I should say, and not have to sacrifice too much of his time there. Dodger is now looking to defend from Ollie's. Is he going to take the defensive line? He does, so Ollie switches to the outside and through turn number 1 here. It's way wide there from Ollie's, but still holds on to the position. And stewards say it's fair so far, and Dodgers up into P7. Ollie's into P7, sorry. Too much talking for Kurbssy tonight. Apparently the Illuminati had something to do with the wing being stolen. I know nothing of the sort, and I refuse to commentate further on that. Back up at the front, it's still T-Burke really controlling the tempo of this race right now. He's nearly 3 seconds clear of Mike Young, who should box soon here on the softs. Is he going to do it now? He's not. So let's look. He's about 3 seconds off as this lap starts here. Just remember that for when we get through to the next lap. And let's see what happens here as Sprightly is closing in on Hulk Smash. Sprightly on these medium or hard tires. I apologize. 2 laps old. There is your tire graphic for the race so far. You can see a lot of different strategies going on right now. Ollie's and Dodger, really the only 2 drivers near each other who are on the same strategy as it stands right now. Sprightly does have that DRS from Hulk Smash there. He's not looking to get the slipstream, it appears. Wow, just a lot of speed carried into turn number 1 there, and great pace here from Sprightly. Is he going to be able to tack into the S's? Hulk Smash thinks the better of it and just backs out a bit. Realizes it's not his race to battle right now. He's on those old soft tires as Ollie's picks up a time penalty. Did he go wide through turn 1 again? I'm going to presume that he did as he picked up that penalty there. He struggled mightily with that first corner. T-Burke right now still leading the way, and look at that gap. It's opened up a bit by about a half second or so. So T-Burke very quick on these medium tires. But what will he do to the end? He's got 15 laps to go. Can he carry these about another 5 laps or so, and then maybe oh, as he's getting a bit squirrely already, losing the rear, and Mike Young has closed in that half-second gap. Now he dives off into the pits, so an in-lap it was from Mike Young, maybe a bit quicker. And here is T-Burke. Let's keep an eye on Mike Young. So he comes out on the mediums. He's going to be racy at the end here. T-Burke's on the mediums right now. Will he be able to come out on the softs if he stays out for about 5 laps? I don't hate Mike's strategy. I think that's fine. I think he's out in P3 right now. Basehead has to pit again. There's no way he's getting to the end on that. Mike Young maybe just looking to capitalize on any mistake from T-Burke there. And he's on tires that won't allow him to be caught. It's just 14 laps to go. And that's if T-Burke... Is he going to be careful here? Cover off with the hards? I don't think so. As we have a full safety car. What did I miss? We have a full safety car. It's Quick Tongue. Quick Tongue is DNF'd. And now it's just a matter of finishing the race. You can get some points. Wow. Was there contact, or was there contact with Cold Carnival? He has about no car left, and he, for some reason, is pushing a Ferrari off. That was a bit dangerous there. No overtaking under the safety car here. As we see an overtake under the safety car here. Brilliant. Yeah, this is very unfortunate for T-Burke. Really the big loser in all of this. I hate to say that because really deserved a good showing here. We'll see the wing change here. And what tires is he switching onto? So the hards it is. And now for T-Burke, he should have gone to the pits there, in my opinion. I think he should have just gone to the pits there and back out on the hards right away. Just the time gained in the pit under a safety car is just too much to not take advantage of. And now he's just going to get eaten up at the restart here. Then he's going to have to pit. A lot of these drivers aren't going to have to pit again. This worries me for his strategy. I don't know why T-Burke's still out right now. He should have boxed right away. Unless I'm missing something. He must not have a race engineer or maybe some Communication issues. Gert, if you're watching, or Gucci Lucci, please get in his ear right now and start screaming at him. There's no point in staying out now. There's nothing to race. He needs to just get in the pit, even though he's going to come out well behind. Get in the pit right now. Yeah, I would actually agree. I think Softs is the right call here, even for T-Burke, who's going to come out. Let's see. P2, P3, P4. He could still come out around P5 or so. P5 or 6, possibly. He's got to get in the pits right here. You would think Softs, right? He's going to switch on to the Softs here. Needs to not hit the safety car. That's for sure. I don't think hards are going to do anything for you. It needs to get on the Softs. And let's see where T-Burke is going to end up. So there goes P1 and P2. We see Cold Carnival there. He's a lap down. And could T-Burke feasibly come back out in P3? He could. And it looks like he will come back out in P3. As here comes Basehead. Is he going to be able to squeeze out? Let's see. Oh, he does. He does. And there goes T-Burke there. P4. So, you know what? Not terrible. T-Burke still has a lot to race here. He's going to have the very quick tires right at the restart. And that was the first time I think I've ever been excited under a safety car for a possible maneuver. Yeah, of course he pits now. You have to pit now. You always have to pit under the safety car in that circumstance. It's too much to miss out on. You're right, with the two Ferraris on the softs here, can we see at least one of them make a podium in this race? You see Mike Yunt, Fathercorn, and Basehead are ahead of these drivers. Basehead did have P2 and managed to grab P1 after the first corner, led for a few laps until he crashed. I think he just missed the pit entry under the safety car. Maybe just didn't make the call soon enough. And I don't think it's fair to be too hard on him. Obviously, it's egregious to miss that pit stop, but I think he had a strategy in mind and just didn't abide by it. The safety car just really threw him for a loop there, and he's back out. He's only a couple of positions down here, and at a restart under a safety car, you never know what's going to happen. So we have Hulk Smash out here in P6. He's going to lead Ollie's. Ollie's is probably thankful for this safety car, as we have safety car in this lap. Everything's cleaned up from Quick Tongue's DNF. Dodger in P8, Skits in P9, with Cold Carnival in the middle of the field here, actually. Let's go on board with Mike Yunt, who's our race leader right now. Mike Yunt, who was chasing down T-Burke for most of the first stint in this race, has now taken over P1 due to that safety car. I don't agree. He would have had to go 15 laps on softs. There goes the Red Bull. He is away in P1 there. Corn getting a good tow. There's Cold Carnival, who goes to the outside there, or the inside there. That's because he is a lap down. Here goes T-Burke in P3. Basehead in P4. That means T-Burke got through there early on. Sprightly in P5 here, looking to attack Basehead as well. So good grip there as Ollie's up into P6. Ollie's looking to attack Sprightly here. Let's keep an eye on this battle. The Alpine attacking the Ferrari. The Alpine of Ollie's very quick, obviously. He could not have gone for mediums. He started on mediums. You always have to change that compound. As here goes Ollie's towards the hairpin. Will be attacking Sprightly here. And look at the gaps right now. It's going to be T-Burke and Basehead. We see some ghosting going on for some reason, as there's Basehead getting shoved out by T-Burke there. They're going to go side by side, and there's contact between T-Burke and Basehead there. Now Sprightly attacking. Ollie's is there as well. Not sure what was going on there or why we saw ghosting action. But T-Burke now down into P6. That seemed a bit naughty from a few drivers there. Mike Yunt and Father Corn looking to open up that gap as well right now. Sprightly losing out. T-Burke back up the order. through 130R right now. Has Dodger just behind him here. Ollie's up a bit here. Will be attacking Basehead. Ollie's a very quick driver. Not sure what happened to T-Burke into the hairpin there, but definitely some issues out of Degner too. Ollie's 7/10 off Basehead here. This is a battle to keep an eye on, the battle that we wanted to watch down into turn number 1. Well, it didn't last further than that as Ollie's went off in lap number 1. Now gets to race with the cars that are just around his pace as well. And you're right, is this the redemption arc from Ollie's here? Let's take a look at the time penalties. What better time than now to take a look at pens? We see 3 seconds for both Basehead and Ollie's there, as well as Cold Carnival with that 3 seconds. Dodger, the only driver to grab a double penalty so far. He's up at 6 seconds. Only 9/10 off of T-Burke, though. See if he can close in that gap a bit. Still 10 laps to go, so a lot of racing will be left out on track here. Let's see, as T-Burke seems to be closing the gap on Ollie's into Spoon here. Not exactly an overtaking opportunity, but Ollie's will also be a difficult driver to keep an eye on as Travis Konechny joins the session apparently. Hunting down the back straight right now is T-Burke. He's the closest to any driver ahead right now. Sets that purple sector 2 there and really wants to get through on Ollie's. And look at Korn. Korn must have had an issue there, as definitely missed his braking point, did T-Burke. And what is going on with Korn as he's now 2 seconds off the back of Basehead. Basehead just set the fastest lap. T-Burke grabs the fastest lap now, as here is Ollie's and T-Burke going at it. T-Burke's going to show it up the inside there. Grabs that inside line and closes off any possible redemption from Ollie's there. Basehead definitely closer to Father Korn this go around. So we're not sure what kind of issue Father Korn may have had here in this McLaren, but you can see how close the AlphaTauri is now, and everybody is now lining up for a DRS train as we go through Degner 1. The McLaren still seems to be a bit of a lawnmower here out on track as we saw him go off. Cold Carnival picks up a 3-second time penalty. That will be 6 total seconds of time penalties for Cold Carnival. Not sure what's going on in the Mercedes cockpit. A driver who I'm used to seeing a bit quicker is definitely having some issues tonight in Suzuka. See right now the train going on down the back straight. Mike Yunt leading this train, but I'll tell you what, take a look at those intervals closing down as Father Korn has gained quite a few tenths on Mike Yunt ahead, particularly on this lap. Basehead even more so as he's within 3 tenths or so off that rear wing of the McLaren here as we see him attacking through. Lap number 18 complete. We start lap number 19 here, and there's the DRS wing open for Basehead as we see him going up the inside of the McLaren. He's going to have the job done before they even get to the braking point there. Basehead with great pace is looking to now attack the leader here in a few moments' time. T-Burke needs to pounce now. He's got the better tire strategy, or not tire strategy, but he's got the better tires for right now. The softer tires, softer compound that is. And this is the time to really attack as we can see him still closing that gap to Korn ahead. Needs to get into that podium position early on, and there goes Basehead. Basehead is off after having an issue there, and there is an easy overtake for T-Burke as Cold Carnival DNFs from the session. Wow, Basehead is, it's so unfortunate. Every time he gets up there into P1 and P2, he's just having a few issues. A very quick driver who's been the bearer of bad news, really, for any fans of the AlphaTauri team. We have 1 DNF so far. We have the other driver sitting down in P7 right now after a spinner, looking to clean up the rear wing of that AlphaTauri. That is absolutely disgusting and foul. T-Burke a half second off Father Korn right now. All of a sudden has become the battle to watch between T-Burke and Father Korn. They're about 2.5 seconds off the rear wing of Mike Yunt, who we can see just outside the Casio triangle there as he goes past the pit entry. So does Father Korn and T-Burke. They're 6 tenths now separated for this P2 position. Let's see as we have DRS open on the Ferrari. Needs to be careful not to burn up all of his ERS before he gets any overtaking done, as there they go side by side through turn number 1 into turn number 2. It's going to be T-Berg up into P2, and as he's snaking his way through the field right now, we see the Ferrari now hunting down Mike Yunt for that P1 position. What's going to happen over the next 7 laps or so? Excuse me, while I had a bit of a refreshment break there. Again, for tonight's race, for the race after this, it's just myself, Kurbssy, in the booth for the race this evening. This is Xbox Tier 2, and we're here in Suzuka. We do have Tier 1 just after this race, and I'm looking forward to that one as well in 29 minutes' time. But why don't we focus on this battle right now, as we have Ollie's attacking Father Corn into the Casio Triangle. It's going to be Father Corn holding out for now, but DRS belongs to Ollie's in the Alpine. He's going to be attacking the McLaren early on, or should I call it the lawnmower of Corny there. And here goes the Alpine right through onto the other side. Goes Ollie's into the podium places. He still does have that 3-second time penalty to bargain with there. But if he can open up that gap to Corn behind, he's not going to have to worry about it too much. 2 seconds off of Mike Yunt is T-Berg right now, but take a look at their steering wheels. Take a look at that yellow bar. You can get a good idea. Ooh, as Dodger has a bit of an issue here. He's off the track, rejoins safely there, thankfully, as Hulk smashes the next driver to come through there. But take a look at the steering wheel difference right now, that yellow bar. I don't want to say it out loud, just in case they're listening. You can see the percentage difference in the ERS between these two drivers. And Hulk smash gets a time penalty for severe collision, and what I thought was a safe rejoin may not have been so. Interesting. I would love to see that from Hulk Smash's perspective. I know he's streaming tonight, so be able to take a look at that one later on. Go ahead and follow his Twitch channel. I believe it's the same as his in-game name here. T-Berg streaming as well, I believe. Let's see if he's sweating any bullets right now, trying to catch up to Mike Yunt. Mike Yunt doing a good job maintaining the gap, though, to that P1 position right now in the Red Bull. You can see Ollie setting the fastest lap of the race so far. Really, really wants a redemption after an issue early on. Saw him at the back of the grid, an early pit stop. Really put him through the loop there, and ever since then just hasn't been able to reclaim that top spot that Mike Yunt and T-Berg have been occupying for most of the race. But Ollie's right now is absolutely flying in the Alpine, as these mediums are right at the right temperature right now. 7 laps in. Skits picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. Only 3 seconds, though. Not going to have to fend off too much, considering Cold Carnival, Quick Tongue, and Redeemer are DNF'd from the race. Father Corn right now has Sprightly to fend off next if he allows him to close in. Corn is quite the enigma, isn't he? He seems to have good pace, and then all of a sudden finds himself in some kind of predicament. Is he on a gamepad? Can anybody tell by this? It seems a bit smooth if it is on gamepad in the 130R there. Seem closing in on Ollie's as well. He might be recharging a bit. I'm not sure if Father Corn is on gamepad or steering wheel. What I can tell you, though, is that officially today, speaking of gamepads, congratulations to Black Gold Saw, who is crowned the Season 5 champion of ACC. And he somehow does that on a gamepad. Okay, so Corn is on pad. All right, thank you for the confirmation. That was very smooth in the 130R for being on gamepad there. Brilliant. Hulk Smash, Dodger, and Skits all really running their own race here towards the back of the grid. As we jump back up, Basehead obviously had that spinner right here a few laps ago. Would have possibly been challenging for the lead right now, if not in the lead. Well, here is T-Burke, nearly within a second of Mike Young ahead. This is the time to get through while the softs are still in their hot zone before they get a little too hot and start to fall off in a few laps time. It's going to be right at the end of the race though, so this is going to be T-Burke attacking Mike Young here. He's almost within that DRS range of the leader right now. Mike Young, let's see what he does in the Casio triangle here. Very well maintained, not cutting too much there. T-Burke cutting even less, but seems to have closed the gap a bit. He's now within the DRS zone, I believe, as he crossed the detection point. Can he activate it? No, he must have been just outside of it. Unfortunate for the Ferrari team, fortunate for the Red Bull. Here they go. Through turn number 1. Ollie's still well in play here. Has not been able to open up that gap to Corn, but Corn's tires are going to start falling off just a little bit here. Not too much. 12-lap-old mediums are still well within race pace. As Dodger has boxed for new soft tires. Let me throw up the time penalties for anybody curious right now. The only time penalty. Oh, what's going on now? As Corn has done it again. Corn has done it again. And did Platinum say anything? Somebody check the chat. He did say, go Corn. Everybody boo Platinum. T-Burke now within 7/10 all of a sudden of Mike Yunt here. Definitely wants to watch his ERS, but could T-Burke make it 2 weeks in a row here? I don't want to say it too soon, but 2.5 laps to go here in Suzuka. Is going to be well within striking distance in a few corners time, as long as everything's maintained well here. Definitely runs nicely through 130R there. Does he hit the braking point? He does. Very well done by the Ferrari driver there, and is even closer to Mike Young. He definitely doesn't cut much of that curb through the second part of the Casio triangle. He still has a bit of time to find there, as here goes Mike Young. Is he going to line up the inside for the defensive line? No, it's going to be T-Burke attacking there, and this could be brilliant into turn number 1. It is, and there's the overtake for the lead of this race with 2 laps to go. T-Burke is now leading Mike Yunt by 0.3 of a second through the S's. Flat, I am just kidding. I am absolutely just messing with you. Just having a good time here in the booth. I'm by myself, so I don't have anybody to talk to but chat, and I couldn't be happier about that. Yeah, that was brilliant from T-Burke. I love the pounce up the inside there when it's one of those, he's going to go around the outside here, come on. And then all of a sudden switches over, and just nicely done there. Mike Young did leave the door open a bit. And here he is. He falls outside of that 1 second range. And T-Burke here still has a bit of that yellow bar to fend with. Let's see. I think between that move and Ollie's move through 130R, we've seen some brilliant racing tonight. Even Ollie's through turn number 1. There's been some great overtakes. And let me remind you, this is tier number 2. We have tier number 1 coming up in 21 minutes time. T-Burke hunting towards the line here. Let's see what he's able to do. It's a 132.5 across the line. Oh, it didn't catch the lap time from Ollie's there. I was just curious if he's closing the gap at all. It's 133.8. So Ollie's here, another driver to watch. He's on the podium as it stands right now, but he's got to maintain that 3-second gap to Sprightly behind. T-Burke up into P1 right now is going to lead Mike Yunt through Degner 1 and 2. Funky, best of luck to you. Thanks for stopping by, as always. Keep an eye out for Funky Cactus. You might see that name again shortly here. as Mike Yunt is about a second and a half or so off of T-Burke's wing there, but now the soft tires, are they coming into play a little bit as they're getting to that 10-lap mark, and that's where we saw Mike Yunt start to struggle with them a bit. And this is where T-Burke needs to be cautious with his ERS. He needs to preserve it for that defensive maneuver. Maybe if Mike Yunt gets back into the DRS range, he can hold him off just a bit there. Through 130R goes T-Burke, and here comes Mike Yunt as well through 130R. It just seems so easy in these Formula One cars. When you're driving a GT3 car around this circuit, you really have to try your hardest to get that car through there beautifully, but it almost seems like a non-corner in these Formula One cars. We start the final lap of this race with T-Burke leading the way from Mike Yunt. Ollie's in P3. Ollie's has that 3-second advantage of Sprightly there. It's actually 5.5 seconds now, and Sprightly seems to be comfortably ahead of Basehead, who has a few seconds of time penalties to fend off as well. No other battling going on towards the back of the grid, so let's watch T-Burke right now and see what he's able to do through the middle sector here as it starts right about now. T-Burke going into the hairpin. He's still opening that gap as he had a purple sector 1 there on the final lap of this race. What is he going to be able to do on this final lap? Is he going to be able to make it 26 points in this race? Can he grab both the win and the fastest lap of the race? Through Spoon goes T-Burke right now. He's almost 3 seconds clear of Mike Yunt. It doesn't seem like much of a challenge there from the Red Bull. Almost 3.5 seconds clear. What is going on for the Red Bull? He's going to have to worry about Ollie's as well, and hope he doesn't get passed by 3 seconds with only a few corners to go. Here goes T-Burke as he sets another purple sector there. He's 0.6 up on his best time so far. T-Burke down into the Casio Triangle is looking to make it 2 wins in 2 races and crosses the line in just a moment here. T-Burke is going to be a race winner in Japan. Congratulations to the Ferrari team for another race win. Mike Yunt crosses the line in P2. Ollie's in P3. He will beat out that 3-second time penalty and hold on to the podium from Sprightly. As Basehead crosses the line, he is well ahead of Father Corn, who is the next driver to cross the line here, though would be remiss if I did not mention Skit scoring points 2 weeks in a row here. Hulk Smash still out on track right now, coming through the hairpin. What a race win there from T-Burke. Brilliant job there in the Ferrari. I know he's absolutely glowing in the cockpit right now. Let's see if I can grab him quickly. Speak with him. I know there are some party issues with Xbox right now. We're still on board with Hulk Smash. And hopefully we can speak with T-Burke, as I know he's upset about not getting an interview last week.
You guys got me? Yo.
Hold on 1 second as we still have the race finishing here. Here goes Hulk Smash across the line. Dodger retires from the session on cue there. And the Red Bull will be the final driver to cross the line. Let's see. The driver of the day was handed to the Red Bull of Hulk Smash there. And take a look at the final standing positions, as I do believe we're going to have T-Burke join us for an interview after this race. I do have to be quick because we have the Tier 1 race coming up right after this as we watch the podium celebration from T-Burke on the top step. Once again, it's the Frenchman spraying the champagne all over his teammates and colleagues. Mike Yunt there on P2 with Ollie's in P3. What a redemption of a race for Ollie's, who crashed out last week, and Mike Yunt, I believe, crashed out last week as well. Both of those drivers on the podium, as here is the final grid order. It's T-Burke P1, Mike Yunt in P2, with Ollie's on that 3rd step of the podium. Sprightly finishes P4 for a brilliant day at the Ferrari team. The AlphaTauri driver Basehead finishes P5 with Father Corn in P6. Hulk Smash P7 with Dodger P8. Skits finishes P9 with the rest of the drivers DNFing from the race. Cold Carnival, Quick Tongue, and Redeemer. So, with all of that said and done, I believe we can now speak with the race winner, T-Burke. Tom, how about that one?
You guys got me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, how about that, man? Back to back. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, you got to be happy about that, Tom. Now, tell us, how did you not box when that safety car came out?
In all honesty, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make the softs last. Safety car kind of screwed me there. I was in the lead. I was really, enjoying it. I think when I was far enough ahead of Mike Yunt that when I pitted, I would have came out well ahead by 2-3 seconds and just on softs and probably would have been able to, just take it from there. But safety car really got me, and then, I started thinking, and I was like, okay, maybe stretch it out for one more. I looked, and I saw if I pitted, I was going to be coming out in like third or fourth. So I thought fourth on softs, that might not be that bad. So then I just went for it, and, full sends.
Well, it was a full send. Absolutely pitted there, if you will. And congratulations on another race win. You made it 2 weeks in a row now with a race win. Mike Yunt, though, finished P2, so you did grab points on him, but he managed to soften the blow a bit. You were 19 points off at the start of this race, and if my math is correct, that puts you at about 12 points off, because I think you grabbed the fastest lap as well. So
I did, so that might be 11 points off, isn't it?
So that is a great way to go into the next week that I will not be here for, but I will try.
Where are we racing at next week?
I don't know right off the top of my head. Give me one moment and I will tell you. You are racing at Paul Ricard next week, your home track, Tom.
Oh, well, let's go. Let's see if we can make it 3 in a row.
Well, that would be exciting. Well, congratulations. I know I'm upset I didn't give you an interview last week. And since I didn't give you an interview last week, can I hear your thoughts on Baku as well?
I mean, yeah, Baku was just, I don't know, just another crazy one, man. I mean, safety cars and everything like that. I don't know. I mean, I felt confident going into Baku. I knew I was fast. I knew I could be consistent. I mean, it was just a matter of what happened in front of me and where I'd put myself in qualifying. And I think putting myself P2 in qualifying last week was really a big key, getting out ahead of all the carnage and the wreckage. And then, I think we had a safety car. I think it worked out just for me that I pitted for mediums or something like that just before the safety car. And then put me right out, I think second or third, and then restarts. Restarts was a huge key, and again today, I mean, even in Japan, you saw off the restart, quick jump, me trying to get it on base had to do the same thing last week. It was crazy in Baku, but again, another great race by everybody.
Yeah, it was a great race. It was a lot of fun to watch. Even more fun to commentate here. Maybe one day you'll join me in the booth, and I look forward to that. Now, I do want to ask just one more question before we go. We have the Tier 1 race coming up. Any drivers to keep an eye on in that race?
I mean, I used King Kirk's setup for this one, so, let's give a shout-out real quick to King Kirk. And I got to give Gert a shout-out for the setup last week. He was a little bit upset about that one, so give Gert a quick shout-out for the setup last week in Baku. But King Kirk, dude, your setup was very fast. Go get him, dude. I'm pulling for you.
All right, so King Kirk, the driver to watch there. For everybody out there in the chat world, thank you for watching. I'll be back live in about 11 minutes or so. To everybody else who does not join us again, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and take care, everyone.